You see him on the boards on Fox Sports Midwest. He's the sideline reporter, the board reporter for Fox Sports Midwest, and he's our hockey guy. He's host of Hockey Sense here on Wednesdays. Good morning, Andy Strickland.
Good morning to you. Good morning, St. Louis. It's great to be in this production studio once again, by the way, here on the 16th floor.
Yeah, how about that? So tonight, Hockey Sense at Obie Clark's?
Be there.
Okay.
Why don't you ever come by?
You and Jamal Mayers. It's kind of on the opposite end of my day.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm fighting a cold.
7 o'clock. We'll be there.
All right. So Blues had an interesting week. They went out to L.A. They beat the Kings, and they lost to the Ducks. What happened?
Well, they lost to the Kings.
Oh, they lost to the Kings, and they beat the Ducks.
And they lost to the Ducks.
Oh.
Yeah.
They even had a worse week than I thought.
They beat Phoenix.
Well, doesn't everybody beat Phoenix?
Well, kind of.
Yeah.
Phoenix is a good team, not a great team, obviously. They've got some good players, but the Blues seem to handle that team relatively easily. This is kind of
they haven't had a very good start to the season.
Well, we talked about this, I think, last week of how their struggles, over the last few years in California. Last year 1-8 on the year against California teams. That's not going to cut it when you look at the strength of those of some of those hockey clubs like the LA Kings, who won this Stanley Cup 2 out of the last 3 years. You got Anaheim, who's been a powerhouse the last few years. San Jose has always been good, and the Blues for some reason have really struggled. And they got to find a way to beat some of these contending teams.
What's the deal? How come they can't play out west?
I don't know. Talking to some of the guys yesterday, I don't know if it's mental or what the deal is. I mean, the reality is those teams are really, really good, right. And I think if you talk to people around hockey, some would even suggest those teams are probably a little further ahead of where St. Louis is. So,
gotcha.
But the Blues certainly can beat those teams. They've handled some of those teams at home. They got to find a way to beat those teams consistently.
So coming up, what does the week look like? What's on their schedule?
Well, they got Vancouver coming up tomorrow night at the Scott Trade Center. That's going to be a good game. Of course, Ryan Miller, who was traded here last year at the trade deadline, he's playing for Vancouver. Now, he was horrendous last night, allowed 5 goals in 2 periods. He was pulled, so we'll see if he's in between the pipes tomorrow. Normally, they'd put him back in there against his old team. We'll see if that's the case. And then Saturday, man, big showdown, Blues and Blackhawks at the Scott Trade.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Has that rivalry's kind of waned a little bit, hasn't it?
No, I think it's increasing. I think it's getting even, especially when you face a team in the playoffs like the Blues did last year. I think that takes a rivalry to a whole nother level, and that's what we saw last year. The Blues obviously had the 2-0 lead. They lost the series to Chicago. You think about historically the Blues and the Blackhawks. You got Joel Quenneville, the former Blues coach, behind the bench. Right. He was kind of going crazy behind the bench in the playoffs last year, at least early in the series. I think that rivalry is as good as it's ever been, to be honest with you now.
But they don't play the Blackhawks as much as they used to, do they?
Well, they do. Well, I mean, they're still in the same division.
Okay.
So they're still going to face each other several times throughout the course of the year.
More than I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, that's okay.
As usual.
No, that's okay.
I think I know more about hockey.
Well, that's true. I know. Well, this guy's forgotten more about hockey than we'll ever know.
That is true.
But, they've got a big injury right now. Paul Stastny was the...
Who are you talking about? The Blues have the injury?
Yeah. Paul Stastny, big acquisition.
He's injured now?
Over the summer. Injured his shoulder, or they're saying upper body injury, so I should say upper body. So... I apologize about that, but upper body injury against Arizona. That was the first shift of the game, Kelly and McGraw. Okay, first shift, 31 seconds into the game, he takes a hit, extending his arm, caught in an awkward position. He's going to miss multiple weeks, and that's not good for the Blues.
That's terrible, considering he was their big score guy, right?
Well, he's certainly a guy who arguably is their best playmaking centerman. He's a really, really strong player. You don't replace a player like him. So it's going to be. They're going to have to find a way. They're going to have to find a way to play without him, as they have every other year of their existence before this year.
So Vancouver tomorrow. The Blackhawks Saturday night at Scott Trade, and then tonight Hockey Sense at Obie Clark's. You and Jamal Mayers.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Now, do you have any inside info to get me tickets to Garth Brooks at the Scott Trade Center?
When's he coming?
When's Garth coming? December 5th and 6th.
I can work on that.
I can work on that.
2 nights.
I'm sure they're sold out already.
Let's see how good you really are.
Yeah. What do I get? What do I get out of this deal?
What do you get? You get...
you get to come on the show.
You get to come on the show. You get to come up here and talk to us every Wednesday. Andy Strickland and Jamal Mayers is Wednesday nights, Obie Clark's Hockey Sense, 7 o'clock here on the Big 550 KTRS. Always a pleasure, my friend. Good to hear. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in, and thanks for bringing us some Starbucks coffee.
Well, this is a reusable cup. I didn't stop at Starbucks.